Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning. Gotta love Friday. All right, let's get it started. I'm Steve. How are you? This is my 90-day YouTube challenge. I'm making 90 videos over 90 days, just getting started really on YouTube with some consistency. Really liking doing this 90-day challenge. So simply what I'm going through in these 90 days is just talking about my morning ritual because I believe that you need to start your day off really well in order to have a day that is productive. And I have a morning ritual that I start off with. So I begin each morning with a meditation, did a 5-minute empathy meditation, used the Peloton app to do my empathy meditation this morning. What was really good in that meditation is they asked you at one point to do a visualization and think about a person that you may have a difficult time with. And when you think about that person, you get an image of them in your head. You then begin to realize, and they talk about thinking about the fact that this person has a heartbeat too, just like you. And this person has sorrows and worries and problems just like you do. And when we begin to think that way, we begin to soften towards that person or that individual because we have a shared experience. And that's something that I can take into the day. As I'm in leadership, school leadership, I'm a school principal, and I'm having countless interruptions and meetings during the day that I don't expect. And you have to be a servant leader. And if you're a servant leader, you have to count on being interrupted. And when you are interrupted, you don't want to get agitated or upset, though it could be tempting. What you want to be able to do is to serve the person in front of you and realize that that person in front of you is there for a reason. They're not there to annoy you or to upset you or to agitate you. They are there because they need a problem solved. And the great thing about it is that as a leader, we have the capacity and we have the skill set to be able to contribute in a positive way. So, if you're a leader, look to contribute today in a positive way, even though it may be hard, difficult, or challenging. Remember, the people in front of you all have the same heartbeat that you do. So, after the meditation, do a quick check of my blood sugar. Then I take a shower. I get on Spotify to shuffle my songs so I can start my morning reading. And the first thing I noticed that the user interface in Spotify has changed. So that sort of irritated me a bit, but I then said first world problem, immediately found the shuffle feature and songs that came on today during my morning reading. Well, here are the 6 songs that I listened to while I was doing my morning reading, which included reading Psalm 6, because I'm doing a 90-day Bible plan. And I also am reading a book called Every Good Endeavor by Timothy Keller. I also do my 5-minute morning journal. And when I was doing those this morning, here are the 6 songs I heard. You Shook Me by AC/DC, Running with the Devil by Van Halen, Desert Rose by Sting, No Shelter by Rolling Stones, not the Rolling Stones, No Shelter by Rage Against the Machine, King Bee by Muddy Waters, and Blue Collar Man by Styx. And the cool thing about the Blue Collar Man version of Styx that it was done with the Youth Symphony Orchestra in Cleveland in 2005. I'm from Chicago, the Midwest. I live in California now, but I really love my blue collar roots. My father was a working man. Most of my friends' fathers all worked in factories or had a blue collar job. My first job was in a steel mill when I was 16 years old, and I have those blue collar roots. Really love them. Even though I'm a school principal now, I'm a leader. I don't consider myself, people probably wouldn't consider me in a blue collar position, but I approach my job with blue collar values. I tend to be in the weeds. I tend to be working with students and teachers directly in the field. I do not like sitting in an office all day long. It would drive me absolutely nuts. So, closing out this video, I want to give you the quote today that I got from my 5-minute journal, which, by the way, best Christmas gift that I got from my wife. Well, not the best, but a great Christmas gift that I got from my wife. 5-minute journal. Each day you start off with 3 things that you're thankful for, 3 things that would make the day great, and then a daily affirmation. Then you go back at night, and then you talk about the day that you had. And there's a ton of science behind it. If you want to read a book, Martin Siegelman does some work on positive psychology. The 5-minute journal is based on a lot of that science, a lot of science that helps you draw energy. It's not some sort of like walk across stones and yell and scream type science. It's actually useful for you. If you like to walk across stones, hey, I'm not mad at you, but I don't. But I do like to use some sort of data and research in order to put together a day that is going to be productive for myself and those around me. All right, here we go. Life is the most difficult exam. Many people fail because they try to copy others, not realizing that everyone has a different paper. And the quote was done by Unknown. And I think that is really, really poignant for me this morning. It's the temptation to copy other people is always strong. Just be ourselves. Pretty cliche to say that, but it's really true. We only can be us. So, this is Friday. This is Stephen Thompson. Hey, looking forward to this weekend. New episode of the Stephen Thompson Experience podcast, which is one of the 900,000 podcasts that is on Apple Podcasts. Just read a article today about the number of podcasts that exist on Apple Podcasts, and there are over 900,000 of them. But my latest episode called Stand By Me is going to drop this weekend. Also, the latest excerpt from The Adventures of Aquafunkapus and his band of misfit heroes is going to be over at the Stephen Thompson Revolution, my blog. And know what? This is an experiment. I am crowdsourcing my novel, editing my novel, crowdsourcing it. I did 50,000 words in NaNoWriMo in the month of November, and then I am posting each excerpt from my novel on my blog every week for the next 30 weeks. 30 weeks of posts. Now, I am not writing in order, so it is not linear. It doesn't have really, nothing's really figured out. The only thing I do is I run that sucker through Grammarly to get the grammar edits out of there. And look, hey, if you like grammar, you're going to be the grammar police. Maybe I can hire you to be my editor, but please don't judge me because I'm going to make a ton of grammar mistakes. I'm a school principal. I still make grammar mistakes. That doesn't make you immune from making grammar mistakes, but I like to think. So it's a very creative book. It's written very differently. I write myself in the story. I have characters that I really have fun with. I really had fun writing this book. I'm not trying to get rich. I would hope that I could have a more income at some point from my art, but I am under no delusions that these YouTube videos are going to get me rich. Anyway, have a great Friday. Have fun. See you next week. Not next week. See you tomorrow because I'm making 90 days. Bye-bye.